Some of the poems that I have written have caused me a lot of emotional pain. When I want to write, I must put a song on repeat and I must start crying my eyes out. If people didn't understand that this was the writing process for me, they would think you got depression, is it? For me, it's just a matter of knowing that this is what you have to go through and knowing how to stop when you have to. Hi, I'm Esther Fam, the author of Shades. Shades is a collection of poems that expresses my thoughts, feelings, and political views that otherwise might remain unspoken. Started when I was 18. These poems are about my life journey, my experiences, my emotions, my mistakes, how I choose to live my life, or how I wish my life would turn out. Initially, I tried writing my own novels, but writing novels take a lot of dedication and time. If you write a novel, you have to write chapter after chapter after chapter. When I was writing poetry, all I have to think of is my first line, or the first few words, and then everything just flows from there. You don't even have to develop any characters on purpose. It just happens naturally when you put one or two lines together. If there has to be a character, it will eventually form by itself. If I didn't discover my flair for poetry, I wouldn't have discovered the rest of me. I didn't even have any audience in mind when I wrote these poems. They were almost like my journal pages for me, and they were very personal and private. I was scared, I was in a lot of pain, and that's what caused me to write all of that down. I wrote many words I could in my own way, without a set form of how to do things. It was mainly to just complain about my life, or to just find some avenue where I can be heard, at least for myself. Talking to oneself in one's head doesn't really bring out the full blast of your emotions unless you write it down. Some of the poems actually start out because I'm angry. There's one poem in my collection entitled Pretty Butterfly. It wasn't meant to be some pretty butterfly on a flower. It was meant for me to just be angry at the world. But it just turned out the way it did. One of the most joyful poems in my collection, Shades, is the one entitled Dream. Dream speaks of me speaking to my future son or daughter. I'm advising her, sometimes life isn't easy, and you have to really focus on yourself and not listen to people who tell you that you cannot do certain things. And also to treasure your childhood and not want to grow up too fast, because once you reach past your childhood, it's no fun and games. Every step you take is either a mistake or a blessing. Death was actually one of the first poems I wrote towards the darker genre. It represented me in a lot of ways because I was also trying to figure out who I was at that time. And I remember for Death, there's this particular line that went one body, two souls. As in, I was struggling to figure out whether I was not so much a writer, but whether I was okay with my physical limitations, or was I striving to be someone I couldn't be. I wanted to represent the anger that was bubbling within me, because I felt that the struggle almost became too much. Velvet Rose represents how I often have nightmares that are very vivid, and it actually speaks of someone being trapped in her dream. But in a metaphor kind of way, it also speaks of me being trapped in my own head and my own life. Velvet Rose made me realize sometimes being strong is having the willingness to admit that you're just human, you're not supposed to be a robot. Even if you feel like you're trapped or you're screaming or you cannot get out of whatever situation you're in, it's not the end of the world. It's just a matter of finding ways to deal or cope with your particular situation. Those times when you're broken down, it's not the end of the world. It's just you trying to find your way as an artist, as a person, and as a soul. It is my hope that Shades will have several volumes, and I really hope you as a reader enjoy this collection, and I hope to see you soon.
Visualization takes place in my mind, allowing me to see possibilities beyond imagination. Hi everyone, my name is Lim Lily, co-founder of Collective Perspectives.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Esther Fam, a partner artist with Collective Perspectives.
At Collective Perspectives, we create an integrated multiplier ecosystem to boost and diversify the income for partner artists with disabilities through revenue sharing. By facilitating to create IP through their craft so that they are empowered to become successful entrepreneurs and professionals capable of sustaining their own income.
Collective Perspectives has helped PWDs like myself develop our identities by publishing our work so that we can become the people that we are meant to be without limitations. My proudest moment on this journey is witnessing Lily being honored with the Gold Chok Tong Enabling Award last year. When in your heart, you feel only hollow ground. Oh my God. Sorry. I'll just continue because this is part of my condition. I'll start over. When darkness finally takes hold. When the blistering wind dries your bones cold. When in your heart you feel only hollow ground. When your ears now deaf, hear no sound. When your lost soul you cannot seem to find. When all you ever want is to leave this messed up life behind.
Your beautiful face, now full of tears, fears your troubled soul cannot seem to erase. Desolation is the only thing your tongue seems to taste. No matter what you do, you can't seem to find your place.
Well, my dearest friend, to you I have this to say. Yes, I know. You might think of breaking down along the way. But if you never let go, you can, and you will, see a bright tomorrow.
Never let go of your smile, for it seems to melt everyone's heart in a minute to a mile.
Never let go of the courage and strength I know you have hidden within. Never let go of your determination. Stay strong, come what may.
When all this is over, you can surely look to a glorious day.
Well done. That's beautiful.
Some of the poems that I have written have caused me a lot of emotional pain. When I want to write, I must put a song on repeat and I will start crying my eyes out. If people didn't understand that this was a writing process for me, they would think about depression music. For me, it's just a matter of knowing that this is what you have to go through and knowing how to stop when you have to. Hi, I'm Stephanie Fam, the author of Shades. Shades is a collection of poems that expresses my thoughts, feelings, and political views that otherwise might remain unspoken. Started when I was 18. These poems are about my life journey, my experiences, my emotions, my mistakes, how I choose to live my life, or how I wish my life would turn out. Initially, I tried writing my own novels, but writing novels take a lot of dedication and time. If you write a novel, you have to write chapter after chapter after chapter. When I was writing poetry, all I have to think of is my first line, or the first few words, and then everything just flows from there. You don't even have to develop any characters on purpose. It just happens naturally when you put one or two lines together. If there has to be a character, it will eventually form by itself. If I didn't discover my flair for poetry, I wouldn't have discovered the rest of me. I didn't even have any audience in mind when I wrote these poems. They were almost like my journal pages for me, and they were very personal and private. I was scared, I was in a lot of pain, and that's what caused me to write all of that down. However, many words I put in my own way, without a set form of how to do things. It was mainly to just complain about my life, or to just find some avenue where I can be heard, at least for myself. Talking to oneself in one's head doesn't really bring out the full blast of your emotions unless you write it down. Some of the poems actually start out because I'm angry. There's one poem in my collection entitled Pretty Butterfly. It wasn't meant to be some pretty butterfly on a flower. It was meant for me to just be angry at the world. But it just turned out the way it did. One of the most joyful poems in my collection, Shades, is the one entitled Dream. Dream speaks of me speaking to my future son or daughter. I'm advising of her, sometimes life isn't easy, and you have to really focus on yourself and not listen to people who tell you that you cannot do certain things. And also to treasure your childhood and not want to grow up too fast. Because once you reach past your childhood, it's no fun and games. Every step you take is either a mistake or a blessing. Death was actually one of the first poems I wrote towards the darker genre. It represented me in a lot of ways because I was also trying to figure out who I was at that time. And I remember for death there's this particular line that went one body, two souls. As in I was struggling to figure out whether I was not so much a writer, but whether I was okay with my physical limitations or was I striving to be someone I couldn't be. I wanted to represent the anger that was bubbling within me because I felt that the struggle almost became too much. Purple Rose represents how I often have nightmares that are very vivid, and it actually speaks of someone being trapped in her dream. But in a metaphor kind of way, it also speaks of me being trapped in my own head and my own life. Velvet Rose made me realize sometimes being strong is having the willingness to admit that you're just human, you're not supposed to be a robot. Even if you feel like you're trapped or you're screaming or you can't get out of whatever situation you're in, it's not the end of the world. It's just a matter of finding ways to deal or cope with your particular situation. Those times when you're broken down, it's not the end of the world. It's just you trying to find your way as an artist, as a person, and as a soul. It is my hope that Shades will have several volumes, and I really hope you as a reader enjoy this collection, and I hope to see you soon.
Visualization takes place in my mind, allowing me to see possibilities beyond imagination. Hi everyone, my name is Lim Lily, co-founder of Collective Perspectives.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Esther Fam, a partner artist with Collective Perspectives.
At Collective Perspectives, we create an integrated multiplier ecosystem to boost and diversify the income for partner artists with disabilities through revenue sharing. By facilitating to create IP through their craft so that they are empowered to become successful entrepreneurs and professionals capable of sustaining their own income.
Collective Perspectives has helped PWDs like myself develop our identities by publishing our work so that we can become the people that we are meant to be without limitations. My proudest moment on this journey is witnessing Lily being honored with the Gold Chok Tong Enabling Award last year.
Everyone, good evening. Thank you for waiting. There are still more people coming, but I think we can start and get the proceedings on. So whoever that comes late, they will miss a lot of things in the first part. Okay? But then we all get to enjoy. My name is Lily. Thank you everyone for coming to this event. Sorry, 1 minute. Okay. This event is called Shades of a Poet, Echoes of You. So, thoughts, expression, emotion, sight of a mind's eye philosophy, skin's sensation, psyche of a woman complex to its core, unheard calls of heart and soul, shades of a poet, 3 different walks of life, but all part of symphonic word hive. Pin drops within heroin forest, reverberating echoes far and wide. What about you? What echoes will you leave in your unique journey of life? Ready for an evening of the 3 music and poetry with a depth of song, with a depth of song and conversation. Presented by Stephanie Esther Fam and Jennifer N. Champion, with Stephanie Dogfoot as moderator. It is our honor to welcome all of you poet lovers to Shades of a Poet, Echoes of You. This evening, you get to meet 3 poets, Stephanie Fam, Jennifer Champion, and Stephanie Dogfoot, who will present some poems through music and songs from Shades. We will also get insights from Stephanie as to how these beautiful poems come about, that even the president would select one to present with Stephanie at the President Star Charity Show recently. This is a collaboration between Collective Perspectives and the Singapore Book Council. Thanks to Mr. William Puan, Executive Director, for agreeing to this when I approached him with this idea a few months back. Our thanks to the National Library Board for sponsoring this cozy space. When we get here, the place is already set out. Thank you so much. Please give the NLB a big hand. Thank you. Also, not forgetting Ethos Books for connecting us with Miss Jennifer Champion, and to Jennifer for bringing us Stephanie Dogfoot to add oomph to this evening's event. Singapore Book Council is a non-profit and charity founded in 1968. SBC aims to promote and develop a multicultural literary arts sector through their programs, which focus on creative writing, translation, illustration, and storytelling. SBC's main programs include festivals such as the annual Asian Festival of Children's Content, AFCC, giving out awards at the biannual Singapore Literature Prize, the annual Singapore Translation Symposium, as well as school outreach programs, SBC campus and year-round training programs under SBC Academy that include workshops, courses, industry talks, and mentorships. Collective Perspectives is a social enterprise which seeks to empower partner PWDs. This is a revenue sharing business model which revolves around creating an integrated and multiplier ecosystem to boost and diversify income for our partner persons with disabilities so that they can level up as successful entrepreneurs and professionals capable of sustaining an income. Stephanie Esther Fam, author of Shades, is gifted with words that she succinctly expresses through poetry and plays. Starting with Toastmasters training and subsequently delving into theatre making, she has found her footing in the arts, which culminates in the publication of Shades, which was her labor of love for 18 years. Jennifer is best known as a poet, educator, and archivist. She has written 2 collections of poetry, A History of Clocks in 2015 and Catwall 2016. She has also been called a household name in Singapore spoken word by Tatler Asia and gifted with swift animated style by Juice magazine. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Jennifer expanded her artistic practice with textile and music. Self-taught in both respects, Jennifer enjoys translating her poems and the works of her collaborators into new mediums. It is her pleasure and honor to work with Stephanie Fam to breathe new life into her work. Stephanie Dogfoot started performing spoken word poetry in 2008 and has performed her work across 13 different countries. Stephanie's first poetry collection, Roadkill for Beginners, was published in 2019 by Math Paper Press, and she is a co-editor of Exhale, an anthology of queer Singapore voices. She is the founder and producer of a poetry night called Spoke and Bird and can be found on Instagram at Stephanie Dogfoot. Make sure all mobile devices be turned off into silent mode. Please go out quietly if you must take calls. This event is being live streamed to international audiences. Thank you. Here, there will be a Q&A session after the dialogue. We encourage participation. Now, I shall invite Stephanie Esther Fam to start the first sheet. Over to you, Steph.
Thank you everyone for being here. I realize that the timing is a bit rushed, but I really appreciate your presence. For us to be sitting here, me and Jennifer, it's kind of a universal timing kind of thing. Because I didn't meet her, I didn't know who she was beforehand, before I was even introduced to her, and she saw my work first, and when she started writing music to my poetry, I was a bit shocked because I didn't know how beautiful it was going to be. And honestly, talking to you now, this evening. It's been a really roller coaster journey for me. I had so many things going on at the same time, and I didn't know whether my body could take it. With the presence of really bad eczema, which you can't see for now, but it happened. And for me to be sitting here and talking to you in such a relaxed manner, it's taken a lot. We really hope that what we present today you will enjoy, because when I first started Shades, it was only meant to be my journal pages. And honestly, sitting here and speaking to you together with Jennifer and the other staff, I want to cry. But here we are, and we just hope you enjoy what we have presented. And also, if you buy Shades today, you will get a surprise. Thanks to my fellow poet, Chris Ang. Chris, where are you? She donated some of her books to be sold today. So you get 2 for the price of 1. Yay! Now I would like to hand over to Jennifer for the very first song of the evening.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. And give Stephanie a round of applause, please. Big round of applause. All right, so this first piece that I'm going to do for you is based on the poem Pretty Butterfly, if you know it, or if you've got the book in front of you, you can actually even look at the poem. I don't know what page it's on though, but it's called Pretty Butterfly. 70, is it? 70, page 70 in your booklets. No, in your books. Sorry, it sounds so religious right now when I say that. Now repeat after me. No, it's not a prayer, but it is a song. When I read the poem, I felt the essence of it was that it's about observing people while you yourself are unnoticed. All right, so that's where this song is coming from. Oh, this is the second time I've played this guitar live in this form in front of all of you. So if I make any mistakes, it's my fault. Okay, it's definitely my fault. Okay. Oh, thank you, thank you. From my bedroom window, what do I spy? Oh, such a pretty butterfly. Her soft wings blue as the sky above. With its intricate design, I think it is a pleasant sight. My eyes keenly watch as she flies with carefree grace. Her beautiful wings flutter as she goes from flower to flower, all of which bear beauty and color. It's in moments like these that I can't help but wonder why. Why does this world seem to be a never-ending race? Why? Surely there is more than just this stupid paper chase. From my bedroom window, what do I spy? Oh, such a pretty butterfly. Am I dreaming of it, or is it dreaming of me? Everything is at a cost, but dreams, those are still free. My eyes keenly watch the folks who come and go, They don't see me from my window, know the things I know. They long for simple pleasures, but fame and coin take place. If they could see what I see, what would they make of the case? Why does this world seem to be a never-ending race? Why? Surely there is more than just a stupid paper chase. From my bedroom window, what do I spy? Oh, such a pretty butterfly. Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer, for that beautiful rendition of the poem. Many people would think that this poem was written because I was in a very good mood, but actually I wasn't in a very good mood. I was actually very angry, that's why I wrote this. The thing about me as a writer, the angrier I am, the more beautiful the piece comes out. So what happened was, I was struggling. I was in my early 20s at the time, and I couldn't find a job because of my disability, and I couldn't make it to a poly or a JC, and I had to just quit international school because of financial issues in the family. So that was one huge stumbling block for me, because I really didn't want to stop school, but I had to. And I felt at the time, I'm like, why is everything a paper chase? Why is life so rigid? And why do I have to get a paper to be someone else, to be someone independent financially? So at that point of time, I was looking after my garden, and I think it was my helper who noticed a butterfly on the flower, and that's how Pretty Butterfly came about. I know it seems really weird, but I promise you I was really angry when I wrote it. And now that when I hear Jennifer's rendition, I'm like, wow, it sounds so sweet, but actually it wasn't.
Oh no,
sweet.
it's still an angry song, I promise you. I can do the metal version of it just for you, don't worry.
Yeah, we should do a metal rock version. Jennifer, I'll leave that to you. Okay. But anyway, yes, for me, my anger is always a catalyst for my best writing. I'll explain more later, because most of the poems today that are featured in Jennifer's rendition of the poems start out with anger or sadness. So this is just song number 1, and now we shall go on to song number 2.
Okay. All right, for song number 2, I was thinking about how Stephanie Fam and I are both similar in age, and we would have grown up in the 90s, and there was this very popular song by Sixpence None the Richer, which always starts with this chord riff. Yep, so you will hear this in the song, but I promise you it's in lots of songs, so nobody can sue me for using this riff. This poem/song is called Sneaky Moonlight, Silent Shadow. Silent Shadow, Sneaky Moonlight. Oh, darkness of night, come blanket her. Let the bustle of the city disappear. Let the sunlight slowly fade leave only the wind's sweetest sighs. As she lays to sleep on a bed for two, and loneliness takes hold, she has no control. The tears or minutes passing by and passing through. Sneaky moonlight, what have you done? Silent shadow cast against the wall. She watches you creep while she tries to count sheep. Pulls her pillow tight, knowing something's not right. Oh, darkness of night, hold space for me among all the dreamers that you set free. Let a voice reach me, soft whisper among the quiet stars. As I lay on my singular bed, think about the fears that are all in my head. I can't say I'm ever in want of company. Sneaky moonlight, what have you done? Your silent shadow now on the run. I'm watching you creep while I try to count sheep. Hold my pillow tight, knowing something's not right. Nothing could be more than the love yet to come. The touch of moonlight's nothing to the day out in the sun. Shadow cast against the wall. I'm watching you creep while I try to count sheep. Hold my pillow tight, knowing something's not right. Nothing could be more than the love yet to come. A touch of moonlight's nothing to a day out in the sun.
I have to say that I really admire Jennifer and how she has so much talent that I don't. She really turned it into a beautiful song. By the way, many people would say that Silent Shadow is one of the most romantic poems in Shades. To be honest, when I wrote it, I was seriously in love with someone, and I was trying to let him go. But unfortunately, whether fortunately or unfortunately, we haven't let each other go. We are best friends at the moment, or forever, I don't know. that depends on him. But yeah, I was literally trying to just pen down my feelings, because when I first knew that I was gonna have a huge crush on him, and he found out that I liked him, it became very awkward, and I didn't know how to process my feelings at the point. So if anyone has a book with them, and they look at Silent Shadow, they will notice that Silent Shadow is not just one, not just two, not just three, not just four. It's, I think, 6 pages worth of poetry. And in the end, the shadow has to leave the female character, which doesn't have a name, but she's obviously written because she was me at the time. And now that I look back at those 6 pages and I see how far my life has come, it's really a process of growth as a writer and also as a woman, because you realize that sometimes when you love someone, it doesn't mean that it has to end up in marriage. It really means to be there for each other no matter what it is, and to not care about what society deems love as. Love is universal. Love is what you make of it. And yes, I have been in love, and I will fall in love many, many, many other times. But this was just one shade of love. And I hope to present you other shades of love with other volumes of shades. Shameless plug. Also, I just did a love and dating series with our grandfather story.
I have seen this episode. It is very good. Please watch it on YouTube.
There's a lot more to come, and you will also find out a lot more about me, about my also complicated love life. And to have my love life splattered into a poem the way Silent Shadow is, I think it's very relatable, because many, many people who have read Shades tell me that's the poem that touches their heart the most. And I am truly grateful for all the fans out there. Right now, there's been a slight change of plans, because either I'm talking too much or we're just enjoying ourselves too much. That's why time has flown by. I'm supposed to present you 2 other poems of Shades. So, pardon me, I haven't had much practice, like Jennifer said with a guitar, but I'm gonna try my best. This poem is called Dream. A starry night has once again fallen. Close your eyes, my sweet little darling. In my warm arms, you lay soundly sleeping. Dream of crystal clear skies, of a beautiful golden sunrise. Dream of 1,000 cascading waterfalls, of a place where there is no trouble, no toil. Years will pass. Of your childhood, only the sweetest memories are meant to last. Yes, indeed, growing up will be no simple task. For me to say the opposite would just cause others to have a huge laugh. So, before I have to stand by and watch you grow, let me say this. Life may be mean and treat you cold. It may cause you so much pain. You just want to rip out your soul. But through this all, promise me, your dream you must never let fall. Thank you very much. now I hand over back to Jennifer to entertain you with her musical starlings.
All right, this is the last song for this evening because I'm aware on time. But if you want to listen to every single song that we've written together, we are doing this again at the Singapore Writers' Festival on, I believe, 19 November?
Yes.
19 November, 3 to 4 p.m. That's on a Sunday. Okay, so if you want to come and listen again, please do come, get your tickets and all that kind of stuff. Now, on the subject of love, the next one I'm doing is from the poem called The Place. And I treated that poem as a title in terms of an answer to a question. You know when someone has a problem and then you're like, I know how to fix it, or I know what to do. Or if they want to go to a certain restaurant, you'll be like, I got you, I know the place. So that's where the concept for this song is from. And yeah, thank you very much. Would you like to know about a place I like to go? A place with crystal skies and mountains so high. Would you like to guess the address of this paradise where the sun is so bright and no bluebird fails to sing? Oh, darling, I know it's hard to let the bad things go, but if you ever let me in, I know the place. Oh, if you ever let me in. Would you like to know a secret? There's a soft patch in this place next to me. Bluebirds singing, flowers growing, streams of golden heaven waiting. Oh, darling, I know it's hard to let the bad things go, but if you ever let me in, I know the place. Oh, if you ever let me in, I know the place. Oh, if you ever let me in, I know the place. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum, ba-dum, da. Dramatically plucks guitar to end the song. Thank you. Now, with your indulgence, we'd love to invite the poet Stephanie Dogfoot to join us.
Hello everyone, and thank you all for coming, and yeah, thank you both of you for your amazing work, amazing words, amazing music. Let's give them another round of applause for Okay, so we have just about 20 minutes for Q&A, and I think I'll kick it off by asking Stephanie and Jennifer some questions. I will say it has been a slightly complicated organizing time, just because I think it's the first time I've worked with someone else named Stephanie. It's like half the time on Zoom, I wasn't sure who was going to do what. But yes, thank you so much. It's really great meeting you and getting to know your book, and congratulations on launching your book. My very first question for you would be, why poetry? What made you decide to write poetry as opposed to any other type of writing?
Can I be honest? Because I wanted a way to escape from doing homework. So instead of doing my homework, I started to dabble in just putting words together, and they became my very first poem. It's not in shades, but yes, that's a dirty secret of mine.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, I think some of my earliest poems are also scribbled in the margins of exercise books, so it's very relatable. And can you remember what was the first poem? What was your first poem about, or the first poem? What was it inspired by?
I remember very clearly. I just wrote, I am bored. Please help me, get me out of here. So yeah, it was about boredom and not wanting to do my homework.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so that was, you said this collection is 18 years of poetry. So what made you decide to want to bring it all together in a book?
I was actually pretty hesitant. It was thanks to my friend Lily, who, through her encouragement, I finally decided to take the plunge. If not for her, Shades wouldn't be standing, and if not for collective perspectives as well, Shades wouldn't be where it is today. So it was really thanks to Lily who encouraged me to. She calls me every single day, and and is really a huge supporter of my work, and she's also a great friend. So I have a lot to thank her for, and being in the audience with her today and everybody else, it gets me really emotional. So thank you, Lily. Although I don't say this enough to you, but thank you very much.
But yes, thank you, Lily, for bringing us all together today and making this book possible. So in your the process, I want to know a bit more about the process of putting the book together. What were some of the biggest challenges in putting this whole book together?
I think the biggest challenge was actually myself, because I type with one finger. I usually don't mention much of my condition because I don't want it to be a sticking point. But the fact is, I type with one finger, and that's why it took me so long to actually put this together. I didn't even know this was going to be a book. I just dumped everything in one email. And one day I decided to put all the emails together in one Google document. So there you have it, the manuscript of Shades.
Fantastic, fantastic. I think that's how it starts. You just really need to compile everything you've written and put it in one place. Yes. And then you realize, actually, this could be a book. So on the other side of that, what was the most rewarding part of this whole process?
The most rewarding part was the day Shades was published, and Lily actually sent me a video, and instead of smiling or laughing, I just broke down and cried. And I remember later that day, Chris was on the phone with me. I said, my baby is gone. It's no longer my baby, it's everybody else's baby. So it really helped me see that poetry is not just meant for the poet, him or herself. It's meant for the world.
And yeah, actually on that, what has some of the feedback been like? What have people said about the poems, and maybe how has that felt for you?
Rather overwhelming, because I always tell Lily this, Lily, I'm not good enough, my writing's not good enough, I'm not from an art school, I'm not educated in the arts. And to have people say that, oh, your poems are beautiful, I relate to them, no matter how simple your language is, it just makes you feel like, okay, I've done my job as a writer and a poet and whatever else, you know, end of story. But it's still hard to sometimes accept.
But yeah, I think that's one of the more sort of magical and beautiful parts of writing, that you can put something out that's very specific about yourself and you realize actually a lot of people can relate to it. And I think that's what motivates a lot of people to keep writing. So thank you for putting your book out in the world. So what has been your favorite piece, or what are some of your favorite pieces from the collection, your favorite poems?
I'm a very political person, although very silently political. So my favorite poems are usually the silently political poems, such as Unidentity. We were supposed to do a song, but we don't have time for today, so it's okay. Buy the book, and then you read a poem, and you understand why. Yeah.
All right, and
now I feel really bad. Should I play it now?
No.
you play the first few bars, maybe. Yes, should we do this? First, just play a section. Can we play a section of it? If that's okay.
Sorry.
This is also like the great thing about poetry, that anything can happen.
Right. Very casual. All right. This is called Unidentity. This is Steph's favorite song/poem. Is this off? Never mind. A piece of blank paper, a length of untouched fabric. This world forever trying to decipher my unidentity. Who am I? Dare you to take a guess. Not a complex science. No secret nuclear codes left in Donald Trump's tiny unhinged hands. No names, no blacklists, no outer bounds that I won't cross. Who am I? I am me, you, we, us, them. I'm nothing to no one. It's all part of the plan. A piece of paper, length of fabric, a metaphor laid bare. Doesn't matter what you name it, crunched and crumpled, lightning strikes. No secret nuclear codes left in Donald Trump's tiny unhinged hands. No names, no blacklists, no exits, no take-backs. I am me and you and we and us and them. I am someone's love and someone's joy and someone's worst regret. Who am I? I am me, you, we, us, them. I'm nothing to no one. It's all part of the plan.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Happy?
Yes, I think that might be one of my favorite poems now. Okay. So maybe this is actually a great segue, because I'd also like to ask both of you and also Jennifer about your collaboration process. So how did you collaborate? What was the process like in translating the poems into songs?
Well, I got an email from Jennifer Kwan at Ethos Books saying, there's this person, this poet who has a book, which I think is amazing, that you should look at and think about collaborating with. And I trust Jennifer Kwan a lot. And when Ethos, not that Ethos ordered me to do it, but when Ethos presents me with an opportunity or something, it's usually pretty interesting. And so I took it immediately, looked at the book, and then, to be very honest, without any prompting or permission asking, I sent back Pretty Butterfly as a song based on the poem immediately to Stephanie. And I was so nervous, I didn't know how she would feel about it, because it could have gone either way. You know, she could have been like really insulted and been like, my poem is perfect exactly as it is, why you do this to my poem, right? But Steph was so generous and immediately asked me to please make more. So that's what happened.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I honestly, when she sent me the first card of Pretty Butterfly, I was like, whoa, okay. I never thought that my poems would sound so nice as music and a song. So thanks, Jennifer.
You're
Thanks
very
so much.
welcome. Noted, angry version may be on Spotify, definitely on Instagram, which is where I post a lot of these songs.
So that could be our next event. We just do metal versions of all the poems, I think.
I'm happy to ask for more collaborators to come in if you know any.
Okay. Actually, you've sort of answered my question, my next question already, Stephanie. Just wanted to ask, what was it like listening to all these songs for the first time, hearing your poems turned into songs?
To be honest, Jen's song Unidentity was my ringtone for a few months.
Oh, wow.
So I was addicted to the song for like 3 months, and I love it. I still do.
Thank you. And thank you for giving all this source inspiration. It's such amazing stuff to work with, honestly. I'll do more. I'll think about it. I've still got a lot to do this year.
Okay, another question. What were some of the, similar to I asked Stephanie about the book earlier, what were some of the challenges in any difficulties or complications, complexities?
Complexities? I mean, I'm the sort of person who will try to listen to the project and see what skills, how it's speaking to me and how it wants to be made. And sometimes I do not necessarily have those skills yet to make it, but I will teach myself how until I do. So when it came to music, for example, there was a lot I needed to learn in terms of recording the music. And in that sense, I have a lot of musicians all over Singapore to thank for their advice, including and not exhaustively Shaktiya, as well as Fox, also known as Chris, for helping me with the recorded versions of these songs. They are not available on Spotify or YouTube yet, but eventually maybe we can put them there for more people to enjoy.
Okay, maybe one of my last questions. Second last question. What was the biggest surprise, other than maybe first reactions, what was the biggest surprise from this collaboration? Or what was the most surprising, unexpected part?
I think the fact that I actually click with a fellow poet, because I always feel that I'm an outsider, like I don't belong in the poetry circle. And Jennifer has actually welcomed me, and she told me that it doesn't matter if you're not educated, it just matters that you put your work out there. So for the first time in my life, someone actually recognized me not for my condition, but my work. Yeah.
I think I'm going to go home cry also.
Yeah. Next question.
Okay, maybe my last question. So for Stephanie, what would you like people to take away or think about after reading your book?
I just want Shades to be a source of comfort and inspiration for anyone going through a rough time.
All right. Thank you. And again, you can buy a copy of Shades over there for $25. They accept Pay Now, PayLah, and you also get, as Stephanie mentioned, another book by a writer named Chris Ang, who's sitting in front. You can get a copy of her book, also very inspiring. And also get a copy of Jennifer's book, A History of Clocks, out there. Okay, so now we're going to open the floor to some questions. Just want to know how much time do we have for questions from the audience? About 10 minutes? 10, okay. So what we're going to do, we may or may not have time to answer everything. So what I'll do is I'll get maybe 2 to 3 questions, and we'll just see which ones you want to answer. Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Hi, I do have a question. I'm very moved by the creativity both of you are, sharing with us. And at the same time, as a poet, I also have times that I doubt myself. So I want to ask back to you, what do you do when you have those times when you doubt your own work? What do you do?
Jennifer, you go first.
I thought we were going to take several questions. Or do we just answer this
do we have
big
another
one?
any other questions? You can take a few at a time. Yes.
Hello, it's Jennifer from Ethos Books. So I'm really hi. Yeah, so I'm really so happy that it has evolved into this. So when Book Council and contacted me and everything. So for me, I think coming from a publisher, I'm always just excited to see like what authors are working on. So I'm really keen to ask, both actually all 3 of you. What are you working on right now? And I know, like, Stephanie Fam, like, you have, actually this book has been out for about 1-2 years already, right? So, like, are you also working on new poetry right now? And yeah, for Jennifer and Stephanie Dogfoot as well, what are you all working on? Yeah.
I'm pretty busy at the moment with production stuff, so poetry has taken a backseat for now, but I'll go back to my first love as always, sooner or later.
For myself, I'm hoping to work on, sort of in the midst of working on a second collection. And quite excited. It's, the concept is evolved from plants to death to horses, and I'll probably combine all of them, and family as well.
At this moment, I have more embroidery projects than I do poetry ones. At the moment, I am making watermelon pins, which you can actually purchase from the merch table over there if you want more details. My other sewing project also coming up for Singapore Art Week is in partial aid of Cat Welfare Society. I am searching for cats in Singapore from Cat Welfare Society that I will collaborate with to make embroidered portraits. So if you have a cat from Cat Welfare and you would like me to come to your house to show your cat some sewing materials and see if they like what certain materials are, I'm doing that project, and I would love to look for more people with cats. Yeah.
Right. Actually, I just realized, sorry, let's go back up to Chris Ang's question also. Sorry about this. So your question again was, could you? Imposter syndrome or something. Oh yes,
Yeah.
how to deal with
how do you deal with
self-doubt, imposter syndrome?
Yeah, imposter syndrome. 3 of you, since Ethos asked the question to 3 of you, I'd like to hear from 3 of you too.
Maybe my answer is maybe not the most inspiring, but I guess I like to read a variety of things. I like to, I'm trying to think. I expose myself to a lot of different kinds of writing, and sometimes I will just think that, oh, actually, okay, this is how far I've come. I'll expose myself to read the stuff I wrote in the past and think, actually I write a lot better now, and I've come this far, and I can go further again eventually.
Yeah, I think that if your self-doubt is coming from a lack of inspiration, that's a very good method. One thing I ask myself when I have self-doubt is the question of whether I'm being triggered to feel this way about something, and maybe it's a deeper question of self and identity, right? Like maybe I went to an event, I saw someone who did much better than me in terms of poetry, and it made me feel self-doubt. Immediately I would ask myself, what do I need right now? Is it because I need to feel important or valued, that somehow seeing someone else's success has made me feel somehow unvaluable? And then to reason with myself there and remind myself that poetry especially, even though I'm a spoken word poet, which means competitive poetry is what I do, right? Poetry, in effect, is not a competition, right? So it's about realignment of yourself, finding out what is the root question underneath the self-doubt, and then addressing it from there.
For me, it's a very unconventional method, but I use it a lot. My helper, Gerlin, who is sitting right in front of me, she knows that I always play heavy metal music. And I get myself into a trance, and then when I reach a certain point, I know that this is it, and I'm supposed to be a poet, I'm supposed to be a writer, so there's no doubt about who I'm supposed to be. So my answer is listen to Ozzy Osbourne. That song was recommended by my friend Caroline Street. She introduced that song a long time ago, and before I came here, I was having that song on repeat. So yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Chris. Other questions? Yes, Rosemary.
Hi, thank you. This is in a sense related to that thing about imposter syndrome, but I also want to refer to the fact of Stephanie Fam saying of herself that she didn't feel educated. I'm speaking from a position of, like I've been there. And for, right, Jennifer saying, it doesn't matter, right? How do you define education? This is an question I am deeply concerned with, and I'm intending to research specifically and write about. So I would also, I mean, apart from your answering the question, I really would appreciate your perspectives on that.
Well, Jennifer is the educator, so I'll let you take that.
Got myself into a hole there with that description of myself. I come from a spoken word community. And when I started in spoken word, even though I was at the point in time in uni doing a literature degree, most of my peers, and I think Steph will agree with me, were not university educated at the time, or came from polytechnics. And there was a lot of this kind of imposter syndrome about feeling not educated enough to participate in poetry. And yet these people were producing the most emotively driven work I'd ever seen. And that's how I ended up in poetry, not through learning about Keats and reading about page work, but actually seeing it performed. There are things about your life experiences which you can draw on and use in a performative aspect. And in that sense also, we taught each other by watching each other perform on the stage. We learned our best practices that way. We traded our skills if we had to with each other. And education to me then is in that form too, in that experiential community-based learning. And that's more important than getting a fancy paper from whatever university it is. No offense to the people who have gotten fancy papers from universities. I'm sure, yes, good for you too.
Let's see. Shall I answer? Or
Yes.
Stephanie,
Yep.
would you like to answer?
Yep.
Or
No, you.
okay. I don't know. It's weird for me to answer because I am, I guess, it feels hypocritical. I do have various degrees, but when it comes to poetry and a lot of the art forms I do like, just like poetry and stand-up comedy, I enjoy them because you learn them, as Jennifer says, like trial and error. You don't learn them in a classroom. You don't learn them by going to an institution. You learn them just by being on stage, performing in front of strangers, and just learning that way. And it's like, at some point, that kind of thing you can't really learn in a classroom. You learn just by putting yourself out there, and so it's interesting because I think now there are. I do think the poetry scene is a lot more dominated by people from the universities who started in university, and so. But yeah, so I do think there's a lot of I think that a lot of the writers I do enjoy are people who just do it regardless of whether they went to an institution or not.
For me, okay. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, I want to posit that actually, traditionally, art has always been an integral part of education. Whether you have the paper or not, it's by doing. And okay, to quote Alvin, okay, nursery stage, right? Okay. Human beings are designed to be self-learning creatures. So whether or not you have an institution, you will learn what you need to learn. Sometimes because of an institution, sometimes despite the institution. And therefore, Ozzy Osbourne acted as the perfect educator, right? The process. So, I mean, as an artist and as a literature graduate whose literature degree was not recognized for donkey's years, and is still probably not, but who cares? That is what I mean, that music, drama, poetry, the arts, feeling and being is, to me, an essential part of being a human being. Otherwise, you're just creating a worker and not a whole being. So your comments, please, would be very welcome. Or anyway, in more time, I would like to interview you more extensively about these things. Thank you.
Yeah, Stephanie?
I just want to say that I never thought of me standing here. I never thought that I can call myself a theatre maker. And like I said, I didn't come from an art school. I learned from my mentors, and I'm a really watch and learn person, so I don't believe in reading books. Although I love fiction books, yes, but for me it's watch and learn. And it is thanks to my mentors, whether I'm talking to them or not, they were the ones who pushed me in the direction I am. And acting and writing is two different things, but without mentors, I wouldn't be who I am today. Whether or not they are here today, they should know that every little thing that happened or hasn't happened yet, I'm appreciative of. Because without them, I wouldn't be where I am today. Thank you.
All right. I think we have time for maybe one or two last questions. One or two last questions. Any last?
I hate to hog the floor. Sorry, the butterfly's dream. To me, it referenced, the classic folktale of the butterfly's dream. I don't know if you know it about whether am I dreaming of the butterfly is dreaming of me, right?
Yes, that reference is intentional. Yeah.
Yes. So where did you first hear of that story? And I know somebody who would be really curious about this because they're collecting that various versions of that from different countries.
Okay. I think, well, maybe we can discuss that after we end the event, because that's a lot of things to talk about, very, very exciting and interesting things. Yeah.
So if there's no further questions, your last chance. There's no further questions. Okay, I think Li Ling has some words.
Just one last call. Any last question before we wrap up this event? Thank you, everybody. Just one question. Anyone has? Don't be shy.
Y'all have dinner yet or not? That's my question.
It's a Friday, the night is still young. Any question? Nobody has any question? Okay, so I'd like to thank Jennifer, Champion, Stephanie Fam, and Stephanie Dogfoot for leading this event. I'm sure we all have had a good evening, right? Yes. So give them a big round of applause. Thank you. And just also note that the merchandise are outside, so please support the poets so that support the poets and appreciate them. And should you get sheets today, only for today, one copy will also get you a poetry book from Chris Ang. Thank you so much, Chris. So thank you everybody for coming, and have a great weekend and a great evening. Can the organizing team come forward for photo session? Sharon, people from, go to Stephanie there, I think easier. Okay. People from